Today I'm going to review the Netflix original that just came out called Gypsy. Alright, but listen, before I get into that, I want to let y'all know, I'm going to do a little self-promotion here. I got a film on my channel called Bass Reeves. If you don't know who this man is, you need to find out. He is the real Lone Ranger, okay? He was the first black deputy U.S. Marshal in the Oklahoma Indian Territory. Yeah, I'm from Oklahoma. So please, if you get a chance, check that out. I'll put a link here in the description. All right, so let's talk about Gypsy. Gypsy is a show that was created and executive produced and all kinds of things by this lady named Lisa Rubin. And I noticed this because, you know, they play the credits at the beginning and stuff like that, and her name was like everywhere. So that to me is like really cool because as an independent filmmaker, like you wear all kinds of hats. You do a lot of different things. You direct, you edit, you do stuff like that. So when I see somebody on a larger scale doing that, I can really appreciate and respect that. So shout out to her for doing her thing. All right, so let's get into it. This is a show that I would not normally watch, but it came up on Netflix and I was like, let me check this out. Let me see what it's all about. I think there's like 10 episodes in the series, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty good show. Let me tell you what it's about. It's about this therapist. Her name is Jean. Well, what happens is she gets a little bit too involved with her patients. I don't really want to ruin the story for you, but what I will tell you is that it is a pretty good show. It made me feel good about myself. It's one of those shows where you can actually, you know, throw stones and like judge people. Oh my gosh, I was just having a good time. I wanted people to get caught. I wanted them to get in trouble. I just want all these things to happen. I mean, it's like, yeah, you know, maybe we all do some of this stuff and, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. But watching this, it made it feel like it was a really, really big deal. So it's not right to, you know, feel that way. You shouldn't, you know, throw stones. You really shouldn't judge people like that. But this kind of story made you really, really want to do that. Anyway, it was a great character building story, and Jean is married and she also has a daughter. And something that's really cool about this is her daughter is actually transgender. She's young. She's probably like 9. Well, she starts out being 8 in the show and then she ends up being 9. And so, you know, that's a real controversial subject. And of course for kids, but, you know, I mean, you just have to watch this show and maybe if you know a little bit more about, you know, transgender, but, you know, you can't just always expect that, oh, this person became that when they were an adult. I mean, you know, here's a prime example right here. So I think that's a good story that really hasn't been covered in anything that I've seen before, especially on this sort of mainstream level. So anyway, I thought that was cool. But the story is good. I think the acting and the cinematography is good and it holds your attention. It can be kind of creepy, but it's a very enjoyable story. It also deals a lot with relationships and not just like boyfriend, girlfriend, stuff like that, because it does deal with the family dynamic, having a husband and a wife and a child, but it also deals with the pressures that a woman has to deal with in her life. Because whether or not you know this, I mean, I know this because, you know, from talking to my wife, you know, talking to Bill, like we communicate like really well. So I have a better understanding, a lot better understanding today than I ever would have before. But women are amazing. I mean, the things that they do, like if you really compared men to women, like women would just make us look silly. This woman she's married, so she's responsible for basically taking care of the house. She takes care of the kid. She does all the school stuff, like goes to the PTA meetings and things like that. She interacts with the parents. She picks her kid up from school, and at the same time, she is also working. But at the same time, she is responsible for cooking and cleaning and doing all this other stuff. Whereas the man, all he does is just he goes to work. I mean, no. I mean, he's a good father. He takes care of his child by just being around, but you just go to work. I mean, just work. That's all you do. It kind of shows you the outside pressures that women have to deal with and the things that they have to juggle in their lives and the amount of stress that they might be under. And if you're a woman, like you probably already know this, but if you're a man, then chances are you don't, unless somebody's told you about it. So I thought that aspect of the show was like really, really good. And of course, they left it open-ended for season 2, which was disappointing. And this is spoiler alert. the last episode, I thought something more dramatic was going to happen than what actually transpired. So that's just a little complaint on my end. If I had to rate the show on a scale from 1 to 10, I would probably give it about a 7.5. Yeah, I'd probably give it a 7.5. I wish more would have happened in the story. So that's just my quick review. I think it's something that you should definitely check out. Of course, if you like these videos, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notifications on. So whenever I do a video, it'll just let you know. I mean, we've already talked about that. We don't really need to get into that again. So just do that. Like, comment, share, all that kind of stuff. And I will have more reviews coming up because I've watched some things. Till next time, I'm Marlon.